Before we get started, I just wanted to plug my album, Another Life, that just came out. It's available on Spotify and all places where music is streamed, so go check it out. Another Life, mykeadelic, music videos here on YouTube for the tracks For So Long, New Wings. One's coming out soon for The Woods, and there's going to be probably one for every single track. Don't hold me to it. Now you're going to have to. Okay, so stay tuned for the goods. mykeadelic coming at you. Now on with the video. How you doing? Mike here, aka mykeadelic. Oh my gosh, it's blindingly bright. But is it good lighting? I don't know. I'll be a TikTok thought yet, or Instagram, whatever. Alright, so here's what I watched in the month of November. A little bit of a crazy month. We'll start it off with Crimes of the Future. I think that was the first thing I watched this month. I enjoyed it, you know, Cronenberg back in action. It was really interesting to see the kind of internet public discourse talking about the body and like people kind of getting Cronenberg in a woke way, which was like kind of interesting because a lot of the times you see people kind of taking apart old directors, especially old white dudes, and they do not fare very well. But in the modern day, I felt like it was holding up, and obviously it's a new film, but it was kind of an old concept. His perspective on the body and stuff is very unique and very interesting, and the whole sex is the new surgery, very wild, crazy stuff. Disturbing, gory, if you like all that practical effects stuff. I winced, but I enjoyed it. Cabinet of Curiosities is this show. I watched a couple shows. Sorry, I usually like movies, but sometimes I watch some shows. A lot of more standalone kind of stuff if possible, just because we need conclusive endings. Cabinet of Curiosities, not too much to say. Del Toro is cool, but obviously he wasn't really too hands-on with tons of these projects. I think he wrote some of them. Obviously, him hosting was fun. Really, The Viewing was the only one I really liked. There was another one, maybe the Autopsy one. Did that have F. Murray Abraham? He's so good. It's in White Lotus season 2 as well, just ripping it. The Autopsy one was pretty ripping. The Viewing was pretty ripping. I liked the idea of the art one, but it was kind of boring. Crispin Glover's great casting, and it was cool to see Ben Barnes in something again. I feel like I haven't seen him since like Chronicles of Narnia or something, but... Oh, or that other movie, Killing Bono, with Robert Sheehan. If anybody's seen The Misfits, that British show on E4, that was great. Misfits, watch that if you haven't. That's how the world fell in love with Robert Sheehan, who's now, what's he in? Umbrella Academy. Klaus, come on. The man. But yeah, they're both in this. Him and Ben Barnes are brothers in Killing Bono. They're like a band at the same time as U2 in Ireland in like the 80s, 70s, whatever. Cool flick, check it out. That was a bit of a tangent from Cabinet of Curiosities, but whatever. Yeah, episode 7 is the one though. It has Eric Andre. Cool, 70s vibes. Lovecrafty, obviously, that's kind of the whole thing. Velvet Buzzsaw. This took me a while to watch. I like Dan Gilroy. I loved The Fall. I loved Nightcrawler. I really enjoyed Velvet Buzzsaw. Maybe I loved it. I don't know. I'm a little desensitized these days. Maybe I just can't even say I wouldn't know my new favorite thing if it hit me in the face, you know? But I enjoyed it. Again, kind of like that one episode of Cabinet of Curiosities, and spoilers, kind of this short film / possible future feature stuff I'm working on. A lot of themes. Oh my god, someone just almost got hit by a car. A lot of themes of art or haunted art. I love that. The execution varies, but I love that idea. So seeing how you can really explore that in different ways. I got a soft spot for haunted art and Velvet Buzzsaw. Oh yeah, the one other thing, I wanted to talk about pretentiousness, because I feel like Jake Gyllenhaal's character in particular, I didn't think he was pretentious. I think he actually knew what he was talking about. He was just kind of like a erudite, like kind of like a douche, but like really he was just really smart in a way. Like he was very strongly opinionated and smart, but like not in a pretentiousness has this fake air where you think you're more important than he actually is. He actually is really important. The character is like a career-defining art critic who actually takes art criticism seriously and doesn't just do it for money and say what people want him to say for money. He like actually was like an artist, like a critic who's not. So honestly, that I thought was kind of one of the most interesting things, was how they kind of played with that pretentiousness in the art world. But I totally get how most people would hate that. Toni Collette was awesome too. Have to shout her out. And I love seeing her playing like this arty art world like asshole. She was just awesome. Okay, we'll move on from Velvet Buzzsaw. Atlanta season 4, another TV show, but fuck, I had to mention it. Atlanta is just probably one of the greatest shows ever. I love Twin Peaks, and I feel like Atlanta is like a combination of like rap Curb Your Enthusiasm and Twin Peaks in all the best ways. Awesome cameos, amazing messages, kind of Soprano shit too, where you have these incredible character journeys and side characters that could be their own main characters. Just brilliant. Love it. And I don't want to do spoilers or anything, but maybe I'll do a different thing talking about just Atlanta season 4 and specifically the last episode. But yeah, what a great show. If you haven't seen it, you're missing out. Really great analysis too on YouTube. People are chopping it up, and there's certain stuff that goes over my head, and I just love how jam-packed that show is with amazing ideas and amazing, just amazingness. And like so much of it too, well, I don't want to say so much of it like I'm like the honkiest honky that ever honkied, but there's certain stuff that'll certainly go over my head, and I love to watch some of these analyses and whatnot on YouTube because I get a lot just from my viewing, and then all of a sudden there's like stuff that of course I'm missing because I'm not as hip to black culture and whatnot, but it informs me. So yeah, amazing show on a multitude of levels. Another thing I watched, I kind of like half watched it, I fell asleep, I kind of need to give it a rewatch, is Trauma Zone, Adam Curtis. If you haven't seen Hypernormalization or Can't Get You Out of My Head, any of the Adam Curtis documentaries, they're long, but they're really just remarkable. Amazing music, amazing information, amazing narration, just amazing documentary, and Adam Curtis, gotta shout him out. Also been watching White Lotus, it's season 2 right now. Episode 5 is the one that came out most recently, so I'm all caught up. But man, that show, twists and fucking turns. Jennifer Coolidge, Emerson Strong, ICU alum. Yeah, I mean, just great show. Mike White, from one Mike White to another Mike White. Given Mike White's a good name, gotta love it. As I narrowly avoid death once again. White Lotus season 2, I'll probably do maybe I'll talk about that once it's like totally done, but so far, so fucking excellent. Not so good, so fucking excellent. Next thing I want to talk about is actually a book. Well, maybe my order's wrong, whatever, I'll talk about the book later. Let's talk about another movie first. Netflix, my girl, Alison Brie, loved her since Community. Basically everybody, if you were in Community, I will watch almost anything you've been in since. Take it from Atlanta to Horse Girl, right? So yeah, Alison Brie, I think she co-wrote this, she's in it. I enjoyed it. It's a little weird. I like weird, but it was a little weird in a way that I was like not prepared for in a way, but I feel like it pulled it off. Cast was banging. Ooh, some great alums from Search Party, Portia and Drew. I don't know the actors' names, but I love those actors. Portia, who played this like brain damaged like sister or friend or whatever, Alison Brie, she was amazing. She's amazing in Search Party. She was amazing in this. Drew, who plays like her love interest, he is just he's just great. He is like the perfectly awkward, not the Michael Cera awkward, like that new school kind of like, he's great. And he's great in that movie. Alison Brie is just, I mean, she's gifted, and she's just brave. Yeah, I feel like she's one of those people that I feel like people underestimate her because she's like so like attractive, I guess. But her brain, I feel like, is like really advanced because she's got some crazy cool ideas. And apparently there's some real life influence of like fear of kind of like generational mental health stuff. And yeah, so just deep as the ocean, that movie. Good one, Horse Girl, check it out. Especially if you like David Lynchy, like weird stuff. It's cool. Aliens. Good budget stretching, I would say. Moving on, not a movie, but a book. I read Siddhartha, Herman Hesse. It was a 1971 pressing. The book's from, I think, 1951. I think it's like, or it's like an adaptation, or it was translated in 1951. Anyways, banging book. Really good. If you haven't read it, check it out. Gonna have to rewatch Zachariah. I watched that in college. Supposedly that's like a adaptation. I'm like, dang, now I gotta rewatch that because that was a slapper. But Yeah, Siddhartha, really good. Obviously deep. It's Buddhist. If you don't know it, look it up. It's kind of like this story of this dude who kind of crossed paths with Buddha and deals with enlightenment and life and different stages of death and rebirth within a single life cycle. Really good stuff. Check it out. Reading is good. That's about it. Oh no, some kind of like quick passing ones. Couple TV shows I watched kind of in the background. I watched Hollywood on Netflix. I also watched Dahmer. Let's not talk about that. It's disgusting. There was one episode of Dahmer that like actually was from the victim's perspective, and I was like, why wasn't this a show? Just so disgustingly insensitive. Anyways, Hollywood was the same dude, Ryan Murphy. I generally don't like his stuff, but I keep giving him a shot. I really liked the Versace American Horror Story. Everything else I've almost not liked. I've seen some American Horror Stories I like, but I like horror. I like weird stuff, but there's something that just doesn't do it for me. The Politician was okay. That was almost good because it had this satirical element that almost pulled off the style, but I just don't quite like Ryan Murphy. But Hollywood was all right. It was okay. I like old Hollywood. And it was funny because now, going into some stuff I'm going to talk about in a second as I take a plastic bag out of my pocket like a magician, Hollywood was cool because there's some actors who have that kind of old school look. Like that one dude who's like the lead is in Pearl. So I thought that was funny. I feel like there's a lot of people who were in that who are going to end up being in the kind of like 50s kind of stuff or whatever. Speed run. Let's wrap it up. So Hollywood, Ryan Murphy, not my favorite, but I like Hollywood, whatever. I'm partial. It was fun. I like the revisionist history. I like the progressive tones. I feel like that kind of thing can be super cheesy or terrible, but honestly, I feel like the spirit was so in the right place that it was like, I was like, whatever, do it. Like, let's rewrite history in a woke way or whatever. It was fine. I enjoyed it. But I'm partial to Hollywood stuff, so whatever. I'm looking forward to Babylon and stuff. That might be good. I don't know, whatever. I also watched Blockbuster. That was fine. Randall Park, I think, is the lead. He's pretty funny. Some good, all right sitcom stuff. It had its moments, but I was kind of just watching it as in the background, and it was fine. Yeah, they still make sitcoms, apparently, so that's cool. And the concept was, like, kind of fun and nostalgic and blah blah blah, whatever. Nice warm blanket kind of show. Talked about White Lotus, talked about Siddhartha, talked about Horse Girl, talked about Hollywood a little, talked about Blockbuster, who cares? But it was fine. Sorry, Randall. I don't think that was for me. Last couple days, had a couple flicks going. Once again, continuing the theme from Velvet Buzzsaw, and just to plug my upcoming short film kind of projects and whatnot I have coming out. Another kind of like haunted art, kind of artist sort of situation. In the Mouth of Madness. In the Mouth of Madness. I took a while to get around to this one. One of my friends recommended it to me some time ago, my dear friend David, and he's got excellent taste. But this one, I had a little bit of mixed feelings about. On one hand, to kind of echo the views mentioned in Haunted Hippie's John Carpenter kind of like ranking thing. Oh wait, no, was this John Carpenter or Wes Craven? I think this was John Carpenter, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was John Carpenter. Yeah, it was definitely John Carpenter. It had the fucking guitars and shit. Okay. So to kind of echo the sentiments of Haunted Hippie's kind of John Carpenter ranking, Kylie was saying the shit is basically like Alice in Wonderland meets Lovecraft, whatever, and it's like, on paper, that sounds tremendous. Like, it sounds like the best movie I've never seen. But the thing is, with these best movies I've never seen, is they almost always find some way to disappoint. And Kylie's main kind of like critique was that some of the visuals and stuff didn't necessarily align. It wasn't really making sense or kind of like painting this picture. And I found that to be, I like agreed, but I disagreed. There's certain moments where I felt it was kind of like just weird for the sake of weird, or just kind of trying to do some freaky deaky shit. But then there were also things like, spoiler alert, the author kind of backing into the door and the page like kind of almost turning into a book or whatever. It kind of reminded me of Meshes of the Afternoon, where there's this like crack in the screen and like the glass on the beach, and these kind of like almost metaphorical representations of kind of this like supernatural or like dream state, or like kind of like, I guess in this case it would be like this kind of like mental state. It did kind of almost lack a certain backbone that would maybe just make it a little more resonant. Like, for example, another Carpenter movie like They Live is such a bold, strong, social kind of like critique that's also a banging movie. We know the man is capable of kind of making banging movies that are also social critiques. In The Mouth of Madness, not saying you need social critique to make a banging movie, but I do feel like there could have been something that maybe elevated the script to another level. Even, I'm pretty sure he directed it but didn't write it. If he even rewrote that script a little bit, I feel like it could have been better. And Sam Neill was great, but he definitely had a weird accent. He's from New Zealand. He was like, I don't know if he was half trying to be American or not, but his accent was a little strange. So, I don't know. That could just be me. Maybe someone from New Zealand's like, no, this is this area. You just don't know this region. Or maybe it's just, I don't know, it is some half cowboy, half New Zealand kind of vibe, but whatever. Overall, I enjoyed it, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe 3.5 stars. Been ranking a lot of things 3.5 stars lately. Oh yeah, I have a letterbox now, so check that out if you're interested. I'm still figuring out how to use it like a old person. I'm generally technologically competent, but sometimes I get on a new app or something and I just turn into an octogenarian, or whatever the word is. Octogenarian? I think that's it. Someone who's in their 80s. Wrapping the month up with some final movies and things watched. I had a nice little Ty West Mia Goth double feature last night, which is November 30th, whenever you're watching this. Last night, the very last night of November, I brought home, oh, running a yellow, that is red now, don't tell. Shh. I mean, it was green. So, X and Pearl. What do I have to say about X and Pearl? They were good. I enjoyed them. They were not bad. They were not poorly made. They were not poorly acted. Mia Goth is pretty dang good, though her accent in X was not awesome. But, kind of spoilers, her accent as Pearl in X I thought was pretty good. But obviously kind of less lines, I guess, than, or less expressive lines than she had as Maxine. But Maxine's accent was a little whack. I thought her performance was probably stronger in Pearl because she could really focus on the character. And there was just more time to explore it in that monologue in the end, all these things. In a way, I feel like Pearl is better. Like, it's technically better made. Maybe, I don't know. Like, it just feels classier or something, you know? Whereas X was more fun, at least for me. And maybe for a certain audience, where, now that I'm thinking about it though, it's like Pearl did have some nasty stuff that would be like too nasty for like a classier, like a super, like older people maybe. But X also has like a lot of gruesome stuff, and it's hard to think. They're pretty comparable. I mean, that's why I wanted to watch them together, because I know they were filmed like back to back. But there's something about having a larger, not that X is like an ensemble cast. I guess Mia Goth is still pretty much the lead, but just having like Kid Cudi and Jenny Ortega and the dude who was in the Evil Dead reboot, who played almost the same guy, just some like, I was just ready to watch him get mutilated. Not in a sick way, but I was like, for some reason, like, his skin must be great with latex or something. Like, he is great to see die. I don't know. He's one of those, ooh. I think there's a fly in here. Ooh. Disturbingly resonant timbre. Oh, there he is. Get out of here. Jesus. I'm gonna crash on camera. Okay. Woohoo, that rocked me. Anyways, that one dude with the glasses, he was like the cameraman guy who was dating Jenny Ortega. He was, I don't know. He's, if there's a new kind of like a slasher renaissance throw him in there, give him bit parts. He's just fun as a part of the group kind of thing. Like he fits right in there. Yeah, obviously there's certain themes with the sex and the things that aren't ideal. I almost wish it was more subversive in a way. Like, it was pretty good, but yeah, again, I'm just gonna echo a lot of like Kylie's sentiments over at Haunted Hippie. Check out her channel, it's fantastic. I've been oversaturated in it recently. But yeah, she said something like editing Mike here. I lost my train of thought when I was filming. But basically the sentiment is if you're gonna throw Texas Chainsaw vibes, you gotta deliver. And yeah, just go watch Kylie's X review. It's much more in depth and well researched. The one line that dude, the like, you know, filmy guy says in the beginning, he says something about wanted to give it a certain sense of the avant-garde like they do in France. Help disguise the low budget. That's exactly what Ty West and the crew did to disguise the low budget of these films. They gave it a certain sense of the avant-garde with these, you know, the kind of like split shots and the ending of Pearl and the, you know, lady dancing in X. That's when I was like, oh, Joe, like, not to be like Joker did it, and not even that I like Joker that much, but he had that dance scene in the bathroom after killing people, and then in X, she kills someone and dances. Am I missing something? Does killing people make you want to dance or something? Or is this like a 2020s trope now that's we're gonna start seeing? I don't know. Yeah, all in all, little Evil Dead, a little Texas Chainsaw, like X, all in all, is almost more of like a fun movie. I think it's more fun. Pearl, I don't know, it's still kind of fun in a different way. Like, the more I think about it now, the more I kind of see them as fairly equal. I was thinking X was more fun, but the more I think about Pearl, it was kind of fun too, in its own sick, twisted way. But on Letterboxd, I gave them both 3.5, so that's not, you know, not as an insult or anything. I don't know. I just thought they were fine. The performances were really banging. The editing and the cinematography and stuff was really good. But yeah, the writing just left a little something to be desired. It was just not surprising enough, I guess. There's an amber lance. Yeah, it was a little, I don't know, basic, or I don't want to say lazy, because it's like, obviously it takes a lot of effort to write a movie and stuff, but sometimes it just doesn't hit as hard. Like those endings, spoilers for Texas Chainsaw and Pearl and X or whatever, but were fine. But there was no Friday the 13th Jason jumping out of the water. There was no Leatherface. Like, it's like a good slasher. Even if the movie is unoriginal and schlocky, it can be saved by a beautifully iconic image at the end. And Mia Goth popping a head like a watermelon, driving over in the truck and driving off into the sunset. That was not our chick in the back of the pickup truck from Texas Chainsaw with Leatherface swinging. It was just not that. That kind of ending, like Texas Chainsaw or something, or even Friday the 13th, it's like it can almost make a decent movie. Like, the ending and the kills. If you're making a slasher movie, you need a strong ending, you need strong kills. A good beginning would make it just great. If you don't have a good beginning, you can sometimes get away. But you need good kills, and you need a strong ending. There were, like, the dude getting stabbed through the eyes. Like, the deaths could have been death pieces. Like, real scenes, like a Dario Argento movie or something. Like, these epic. The first one was pretty brutal and, like, went on so long. And then the next dude just gets boop, boop, stabbed in the eye, see you later. And then it cuts later and you show the aftermath. That it was just so underwhelming to me. Compared to that first one where she was just literally like, gah, 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 gah. Like, I mean, that was like, I don't know. Either like save it for the end of the movie or show it later. I don't know what the solution is, you know? Because it's like whack, you know, you hit one thing, something else will pop up. So you change one thing, then all of a sudden the vibe has changed. But yeah, it left something to be desired, but I'm glad Ty West and crew and cast and Mia Goth went out and made those things. Made me want to shave off my eyebrows a little bit. Very inspiring. I'm back in this studio and I realized I didn't do like a top 5 or something, which is I'm gonna do it. Fucking haunted hippie don't do it, I'm gonna do it. I feel like it gives it a little bit of an ending, right? So here's our nice conclusive ending of the TV shows. Atlanta might be number 1 and then White Lotus, because of the conclusiveness of it and the heaviness, and they have standalone episodes that are just like that documentary, the Goofu sat by the door, that was just exceptional. Had me questioning reality. Yeah, I love that show. So top 5 TV shows: Atlanta, White Lotus, Trauma Zone, and then tied for 4th and 5th are Hollywood, Blockbuster, and Cabinet of Curiosities. I guess Cabinet of Curiosities goes to the top just because of the viewing. Episode 7, which was awesome. And then movie-wise, let's see. Number 1, this is tough, I guess, is Horse Girl. So, cool. Good on you, Allison Brie. Horse Girl, then I guess Velvet Buzzsaw, then Crimes of the Future? Maybe. Those are both pretty close. Let's just say Horse Girl, Velvet Buzzsaw, Crimes of the Future. Let's see. In the Mouth of Madness, X and Pearl. Also, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like them equally. Okay, here we go. Horse Girl, Velvet Buzzsaw, Crimes of the Future. Nah. I think I like Crimes of the Future better than Velvet Buzzsaw, maybe. Okay, Horse Girl, Crimes of the Future, Velvet Buzzsaw, X and Pearl, and then In the Mouth of Madness doesn't make it? I don't know. I kind of liked it, though. It's hard to judge because I like the themes and stuff. So, okay. I'm going to try again. Let's go. Top 5 movies of I watched in November would be Horse Girl, Crimes of the Future, Velvet Buzzsaw, In the Mouth of Madness, and X. I guess that's my ranking. Not super committed to it, but yeah, some good ones this month. Not all new, obviously. Gonna probably watch more in December. Yeah, let me know your thoughts, and like and subscribe, and I'll see you later. One more thing, I'm a musician. I just recently released an album. It's called Another Life. It's available on all streaming services, Spotify. There's music videos here on YouTube. Check it out. Mykeadelic. We also play live, South Florida, Tough Times Tavern. Yeah. What's up? And short films coming soon too. Stay posted. Mykeadelic. Yeah.